ABC help to identify the true cost of product. We will get to know what is the cost, how much we are charged, what and all the types of activity we have identified. When the number of activities are increasing, so which one is contributing value added, so we are trying to keep and enhance our product. Okay, to enhance our product, so value added only we will consider. If you take any respected department, so purchase department, number of activity, sales department, number of activity, all the costs are pooled. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Natesh, lecturer in commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, MYSURU, the Temple of Excellence. We are in the Unit 3, Session 2, 4th semester BCom Costing Methods and Technique. The chapter name is Activity-Based Costing. In the last section, which is completely related to the theory part, so which is a continuation section. So, and today my agenda, allocation of overheads under activity-based costing. So, how you are allocating? Once you identify the activity from the manufacturing, so each and every product we have analyzed. So, we will get more clarity about activity, what kind of activity is going in the company. So, the activity consumption cost driver, the activity consumption cost. So, each and every activity, there is a different types of cost drive is applied. So, next one, what are the steps in the activity based costing? And the last one, benefit from the adoption of ABC system. So, these are my today agenda. So, moving forward, the first one, the allocation of overheads under activity based costing. So there is a lot of difference when you compare to traditional costing. In the activity, each and every activity, so if you take any respected department, so purchase department, number of activity, sales department, number of activity, all the costs are pooled, right? So which is the cost driving? The first one, identify cost pool is very, very important. So you need to identify where exactly you are charging, how much you are charging, each activity, how much you are charging. So in ABC, overheads cost are grouped into different cost pool based on this activity that drive those costs. Because ABC, what we are doing, so we need to get a more clarity how much we are charging. So what is an value added cost are added. So which is non-value added means actually when the management or try to take the additions related to eliminate or reducing the cost. So that's what the identification of cost pool, which is nothing but how you are charging. Okay, so each and every activity, how much you are charging. So what cost is incurred. Next one, determine the cost driver. So in traditional costing, only one driver we are applying, materials related or labor related. But in case of ABC, we are identified there are different cost drivers, number of inspection, number of placing an order. So which is a different examples of activity. So the cost driver or the factor that cause the overheads cost to be incurred. What exactly indirect cost are we are charging for to produce product, to reach end consumption. So what and all the cost is connected, that is actually how we are measuring. And each cost pool is associated with one or more cost driver. So suppose we are trying to measure based on the labor hours, number of labor hours, numbers of labor hours, how many works the machine is set up. So each and everything is something unit, right? So that's what the measure activity usage. You need to measure how much you are using the activity. So with the help of respected department, so we are finding a different activities going on. So what exactly usage we are finding, okay, so how we are getting the benefit. So this help for tracking the actual consumption and usage of each activity by various cost objective. So whenever you are charging cost, of course there is a cost objective. So that's what we are trying to go for activity usage. Okay, how much you are getting a use from the respected activity. Next one, calculate activity rate. Activity rate, to find out the activity rate is very, very important. Respected any activity, how you are trying to calculate, so how much you are getting a benefit, how much which is a contribution for the production. So the total cost of the activity, how you calculate, very simple, the total cost of the activity. For example, any specific one activity, inspection. the total cost how much you bear for doing an inspection, product inspection. After producing the product, you need to inspect the product, okay, either which is a good condition or not good condition or defect. So in case of production, if you are placing an order for purchasing department or placing order, after placing the order, so which is going for number of activity, and one more a major activity after receiving, so we need to check how it is raw materials looking, okay, if it is damaged. So the total cost of the activity divided by total unit of the cost driver, how many units we are finding. Yes, so number of units, okay, so there is something like a slab measures we are identified. So next, allocate overheads cost. Okay, we need to allocate properly. Each and every cost is very important, right? So because we are doing based on the activity, each and every activity is very important, so we need to allocate how much you are charging. Okay, once the activity rate, okay, because of activity rate only, we can try to allocate the overheads cost. Determine the overheads cost are allocated to cost objective based on their actual usage of the cost driver. So how much we are getting the usage, based on the usage, based on the units we are going to allocate. So next one, assign cost to product or service. So now finally, because as a company they are not focusing only one product, they are producing multiple products, so each and every product are something unique, something different activities are involved. For example, product X is only for depending 6 activity, okay, the product B is depending for 12 activities, so which is based on the nature of the product, which is varied. So finally, the allocated overheads cost are assigned to individual product or service, because every product are equally important. We need to get to know the each and every activities are involved to produce a product or offering a service. Moving forward, so here the activity consumption of cost driver. So if you will get more clarity seeing these examples how the activity cost driving here used. It is a measure of the frequency. Frequency means the numbers, okay, the repeated natures or with non-repeated natures like this. So intensity of demand placed on the activity by cost objective. We are setting an objective. So the productions related objective. Under production, there are number of sub-department or sub-activities are going on. So each and every activities, there is an objective of when you are finding an objective. So the cost objective is very important. It is used to assign activity. For example, the cost driver for various business functions like various business, manufacturing, okay, even service sector, everywhere almost cost is activity cost is an advance, right? So here the functions of business functions and cost driver. Now if you are talking related in the company, there are different departments are working, okay, different activity are taking care. So purchase of material will be taking care majorly in purchase department, so which is the cost driver how they are using here. So the number of order placed, how many times, the what is the frequency we are finding, okay, that is a cost driver here. Okay, suppose in a year or monthly if they try to place 10 times, so which is nothing but number of orders are placed. So of course when you're placing an order, so which is not immediately we are getting a result, so there is further activity also continue, right? So receiving or invoice generation after getting the product for the storeroom or warehouse, we need to inspect, okay, that is also. And the number of receipt of material, number of receipt of which is a receiving nature, okay, how many times you receive. For example, you place 10 times, so you received only 5 times, so which is actually there is a comparison difference we are finding. And again the number of inspection, after getting the material from the supplier we need to check, inspect, okay. So next one, now production, when we are talking related to production, there are number of activities going on within the production department. So the number of machines setup, so each and every product are unique, so the machine setup is something different, right? So that is how many times, the number frequency we need to identify. Again the number of machine hours, okay. Now for example, if you are expecting a productivity, what is the machine hours you have set, okay, either it is a standard. So if you try to compare for the machine hour rates, how we are finding each rate, okay. So to find out machine hours, that is also we need the cost driver we are using. And even R&D department, we know R&D department, research and development, they are trying to take in a new project or try to go for consulting either within a company or external company when you are assigning a responsibility. The number of research project, what project you have, you undertaken, and the personal hours on the project. Each project will consume your valuable time hours. Okay, so that is also very important. So that is coming under the cost driver. Next one, complexity of the project. So of course, when we are not the research and development department, they are finding a best solution. So what and all the difficulty, complexity they are facing, that is also coming under the cost driver. And next one, customer service. Now customers, which is going for which is starting from the production, which is going for the end consumption. So how we are trying to go for providing a service for the customer. So here the number of products served, okay, number of product to be served, either we are talking related to small product or big product, any numbers, okay, so which is connected to directly customers. Okay, next one, number of customer calls. Okay, how many per day, how many calls you're expecting, how per minute, how many calls, per hours, how many calls you're receiving. That is the frequency where it is very important. Next one, number of hours spent on serving. Okay, so for example, when you are trying to sell product for the industrial product or capital product, so of course the customer want a technical clarification or installation purpose. So as a company team, they want to spend time for the service, doing a service, right? So that is coming under. So now what are the different steps are involved to prepare an activity cost? So very important, which is starting from the first one. As a company, they want to identify what kind of product producing, what kind of product or service. Okay, now identify activity is important. Okay, so each and every product unique, so activity can also varied. So here the first stage is to identify the functional area, either production function, purchase function. So previous slides we are talking related to business functions area, and the major activity involved in the production. So we get to know the major activity involved in the production is the number of machines set, okay, the number of machine hours, which is a major. Now, so production. Example of activity include machine related. When we are talking related to production, we will try to compare with the productions related activity only. So here, not only for the production activity, apart from production, if they are getting any support from other department, so that is also which is considered as an activity. And divert labor related activity, because the in the production department, labor also very important input resource. So we need to find out either we are talking related to technical skill or non-technical skill or semi, everything we need to calculate here. And the various support activities like ordering is taking majorly, ordering process will be taken care by the product purchase department. Ordering and receiving, material handling, packing, dispatching. Okay, there are different departments. You just recall how many departments are working in your company. You will get to know there are different activities going. Okay, the various activity are identified. Once you identify, by carrying out the activity analysis, we need to analyze. Okay, blindly we cannot take any decisions. We need to identify what is the major activities going in the respected department. So how much you are charging, which is nothing but cost pooling. Okay, so the activity may be basically fall into 4 category as suggested by the Cooper and Kaplan. Cooper and Kaplan is a professor for Harvard University. Okay, so they only developed this accounting activity costing. So the first one, unit level activity or primary activity, which is primary, the productions will start. Okay, so which is a very important activity. Okay, where they want to calculate based on the activities like primary activity. Okay, unit setting. If you want to establish one company, there are a number of departments are equally important. So which one you are giving a primary priority? So here the primary activity, order processing or placing an order. So this is very important. And batch level activity, so each and every batch having a different responsibility. So every batch will producing the number of units. So to produce a number of unit, okay, so what and all the cost overheads are incurred, how you are charging, how you identify the batch wise activity. So like that is. Now product line. product level activity, which is quite similar to product line, because under product category we can get to know the width and length of the product, width and length of the product. So there are different activities going in the product line, so that is very important. So we as a management, they want to identify. And facility level activity, apart from this one, there is number of facility expected from the different activity, which is different facility are provided. Okay, so that kind of activity also very important. So next one, second step is assigning cost to activity cost center. Assigning cost to activity cost center. You know the meaning of cost center and cost pooling, everything you got to know now. So the second stage required that the cost center, also called cost pool. Okay, so it is the same meaning. Okay, created by each activity. After the activity have been identified, the cost resource consumed over a specific period must be assigned to each activity. So now you want to decide how much I want to assign the cost for the respected activity. So that is actually based on the activity cost center. Now in the production department, when we talking related, there are majorly 4 activities going on. So how we are assigning the cost? Okay, so which is applicable for other department also like this. And the next one, selecting appropriate cost center, because in the previous slide you got an idea, business functions will depending on the different cost driver. So which one is applicable? So we want to decide properly. So selecting appropriate cost center. The third stage of designing a ABC system is to identify the factor that influence the cost of a particular product. Okay, so which is the cost of the product will be which is quite similar, but the charges of activities is something different. So the most suitable cost driver in each activity under function area should be identified. We need to identify the function area based on the cost drive adapted. So next one, assigning the cost of the activity. We need to assign the cost of the activity, so which is same, okay, so which is same to comparing to the cost center which is applying for the product now. So when the number of activities are increasing, so which one is contributing value added, so we are trying to keep in enhance our product. Okay, to enhance our product, so value added only we will consider. Okay, so we will try to avoid for non value added. Okay, so which is a completely the management want to decide here. The final stage is the trace of cost of activity of product according to each product demand for this activity, using cost driver as a measure of demand. So we will calculate, we will measure based on the cost drive adapted activity and value added of the product. So how much we are assigning, how much we are assigning for the respected product, because major product, different product or produce or service offered, so the cost is keep on varied. And moving to the benefits from the adoption of activity-based costing system, the first benefit, enhancing cost accuracy. But if you try to compare for the traditional costing system, we will not get more clarity, because we are depending for only one respected cost driver. Okay, so we will not get detail in the activity what and all is which is related. When we are talking related to activity based costing, so each and every activities are very important. So so that's what accuracy we will expect here. So this accuracy help to make more informed decisions regarding price, product mix, and the resource allocation. What and all is related directly or indirectly related to your product or to produce a product. Next, second point, improve cost visibility. So we will get to know the full, the complete information, the transparent information. So how much we are charging for individual activity, so what cost we are pulled from the individual activity. So we will get complete visibility here. So this allow manager to identify and analyze the cost of specific activity and assess the impact on the overall cost structure. So overall cost structure means the complete activity to produce a final product. Next one, better decision making. So it will analyze, as it will guide you the management to take a proper decision. So using accounting activity based costing, we will, whenever you are getting complete information, so you can decide which is your relevant, which is contributing for productivity, which is not irrelevant, which is a value added base, which is non value added base. So we will find out. With the accurate and detailed cost information, manager can make more informed decisions. Okay, formally we can take the decisions using a accounting activity costing. ABC help to identify the true cost of product. We will get to know what is the cost, how much we are charged, what and all the types of activity we have identified. So service and customer. So which enable better pricing strategy and profitability analysis. We will try to, suppose your unnecessary cost, the major unnecessary cost, okay, if you identify how you can take the decisions to eliminate the cost, to increase the profitability. Okay, so only you have to keep in your mind. So whenever you are giving a priority for value added for the product, so which it will be enhancing your customer. The customers are willing to buy your product. So because compared to other competitor, your product is something like extraordinary. And efficient resource of allocation. We will get to know the effective usage of the material, effective usage of resource, what and all is connected to your productivity. So what by understanding the resource consumption pattern, we can get to know what is the material usage, so who and all is involved, what and all the overheads expenditures are incurred, so everything. Okay, so the manager can allocate resource more effectively and efficiently. This help to optimizing the use of resource, reducing the waste, and improve the productivity. So everywhere we are finding standard based on the calculations. We will set a standard. Next one, enhancing product and process analysis. So because certain process or certain product will going for the positive direction, so because of identify activity. Okay, so here this analysis can lead to the product and process of redesigning. Okay, in case when you are setting a cost structure which is not working under the guidelines of the standards set by the management, so slide modifications we will change. Okay, so because we know where we are spending unnecessary, how I can avoid the cost, so the cost reduction and improve performance also easily we can find. Next one, enhance pricing strategy. Even the pricing decisions of price, how much I want to set, so what and all factors will be influencing for this strategy, like pricing strategy, how we are setting, what extra price related to materials, or how you can avoid for the material wastage, how you can avoid for the what unnecessary cost. Okay, so this help to setting a price that reflect the true cost of providing those offering. Okay, so what and all the price related, so the complete informations we will get to know using accounting activity based costing. By aligning a price with the cost, organization can avoid. Keep on watch for next section. Thank you.